If you've been worm farming for a while, or even if you've just started, you already know that composting worms are some of the most hard-working allies you can have in your garden. They transform food scraps and organic matter into rich, living vermicompost, often called black gold. But here's the hard truth. Many worm farmers unintentionally make mistakes that slow down their worms, stress them out, and reduce the quality of their castings. The good news? By simply avoiding a few common habits, you can create the perfect worm environment and watch your bin thrive. Today, we're going to break down 3 things you need to stop doing right now if you want to be a better worm farmer. The first mistake many worm farmers make is overfeeding their worms. It's tempting to dump all your kitchen scraps into the bin, thinking that worms will magically eat everything overnight. But worms have their limits. When too much food is added, it begins to rot before the worms can process it, leading to foul odors, fruit flies, and even dangerous conditions like anaerobic pockets, where oxygen is lacking. Worms breathe through their skin, so if the bin becomes acidic or waterlogged from decomposing food, they can suffocate or try to escape. The key here is balance. A good rule of thumb is to add food only when the worms have nearly finished what's already in there. Instead of one big dump of scraps, try feeding in smaller amounts and burying the food in different spots. This not only prevents rotting, but also gives worms the chance to work gradually and efficiently. Remember, it's always better to underfeed than overfeed. Your worms will thank you with healthier, faster composting. The second bad habit is ignoring moisture levels in your worm bin. Worms need a moist environment to survive. Too dry and they shrivel, too wet and they drown. Unfortunately, many worm farmers forget to monitor this crucial factor. The bin should feel like a wrung-out sponge, damp but not dripping. If you squeeze a handful of bedding and water gushes out, it's too wet. If it crumbles and feels dusty, it's too dry. Both extremes stress the worms and slow down decomposition. Too much moisture often comes from juicy food scraps like watermelon, cucumbers, or tomatoes, while dryness can creep in if the bin is outdoors in hot weather or if you haven't misted in weeks. The solution is simple. Balance your browns and greens. Add shredded cardboard, paper, or dry leaves to soak up excess water, and mist lightly with a spray bottle when things feel too dry. A well-moisturized bin isn't just comfortable for the worms, it also creates the ideal conditions for the microbes that break food down before the worms eat it. Healthy moisture equals healthy microbial life, which equals faster and richer castings. The third and often overlooked mistake is disturbing your worms too much. New worm farmers especially love to dig around in their bins every day, eager to check on progress. But worms don't thrive when constantly interrupted. They are sensitive creatures that rely on stable conditions, darkness, consistent moisture, and minimal disturbance. Every time you dig around, you stress them out, disrupt their tunnels, and expose them to light and air. This can slow reproduction and feeding. It's similar to someone constantly waking you up at night. You wouldn't be very productive either. Instead, adopt a set and observe method. Feed in layers or corners, cover the bin with damp newspaper or burlap, and then leave them alone for a week or 2. You'll notice that when you give your worms stability, they reward you with a thriving, active population and beautifully finished castings. By stopping these 3 habits, overfeeding, neglecting moisture, and constant disturbance, you'll transform the way your worms work for you. Worm farming isn't about speed or force, it's about balance and patience. When you provide the right environment, worms reproduce faster, process food more efficiently, and create castings loaded with nutrients and beneficial microbes. In turn, your garden gets healthier, your plants become stronger, and your harvests more abundant. Think of worm farming like a partnership. You're not just raising worms, you're creating an ecosystem where tiny living creatures do their best work when you step back and let them. Feed them carefully, manage their environment, and respect their need for stability. Do this, and you'll find that worm farming becomes almost effortless with your bin producing rich vermicompost year-round. So if you've been wondering why your worms aren't thriving, start by checking your own habits. Are you feeding too much, ignoring moisture, or poking around too often? Adjust these 3 things and you'll see a world of difference in just a few weeks. Worm farming doesn't have to be complicated. It's about letting nature do what it does best. And before you go, Don't forget to subscribe to Gentle Herb Living for more worm farming tips, composting secrets, and natural gardening wisdom. Share this video with a fellow gardener or worm farmer who needs to stop making these mistakes and start creating thriving bins. Together, we can build healthier soil, stronger plants, and a more sustainable way of growing food, one worm at a time. Yeah.